referenced earlier a beat that you had from Oddisee, and I know there's like a story, kind of roundabout story that you have with Oddisee that really relates to where you are now today with this latest project. So yeah, talk about that story.
So there's like two parts of that story, and I don't want to get too long-winded because I know I've been doing that for a lot of this interview. But one part is that my first experience with Oddisee was in 2010. My manager at the time, his name's Will Ketchum, he had connections with. He was a journalist too, so he knew a lot of MCs and artists, whatever. And one of them that he had interviewed was Oddisee, so he had his contact, and he knew that Oddisee would sometimes Oddisee would just have like batches of beats that he would send around, you know, to artists that he respected or whatever and wanted to have. And Will was like, maybe I can get you one.
Okay.
So I ended up getting that beat I got a beat from Oddisee in 2010, and it was like the greatest moment of my life. I paid like, I don't know. I didn't pay a lot for it. Oddisee is worth a lot more than I paid for it then. He is probably 10 times as much as I paid for it nowadays to get a beat from Oddisee. But he ended up letting me buy one from him, and I was like just scared of it, man. I don't know what happened. I couldn't write to it. Like I was like, this beat's too important to me, and it's sad. And then, you know, you mentioned you're an MC. I think a lot of people, like MCs, go through this. Once you've sat on a beat for like 6 months or a year, that shit sounds old as hell, and it's just like you get bored of it. You're like, you don't even feel the initial inspiration that you had from it to begin with. So I went from like being scared to write to it to it's not that I didn't like it, but it was just kind of like I'd listened to it probably thousands of times, trying to write to it at that point for a year, and just could not come up with it. It was like ingrained in my head that I'm never going to do anything with it. And then it came around time that I was gonna, you know, I was working on this debut with Mello, and I told him, like, I got this old Oddisee beat from like 2010. He was like, well, I don't know if Oddisee's gonna want you to put it out now. It's so old. I'm like, it's really dope though. So I sent it to him. He was like, yeah, this is cool. And I was like, I guess I gotta just do it. And I had always had the hook in my head, but the verses I put together, and I like wrote about it. I wrote about it in the song. Like, this is kind of trying to find, you know, get comfortable with who I am, and I think it turned out all right. And then, but Oddisee is funny. Like, he was the one who. This is the other part of the story where Apollo had already asked me to do Ugly Heroes. And I guess he was having trouble because I was totally unknown. Like, he was having trouble convincing the label to be okay with it, because they're like, man, you just came off doing a project with OC and Guilty Simpson, and now you want to work with Red Pill, Purple Ken. Like, this is a step backwards. I don't know if you see that. And so they were trying to convince him to do it, and I did a show at South by Southwest in 2012 where Oddisee actually performed on it, and Oddisee and Apollo performed at it, and I performed at it too. And I guess Oddisee saw me. Him and Apollo talked, and Oddisee's the one that talked to Mike and Mello and was like, yeah, do it. He's dope. So he actually was the one that like sealed the deal for me in the end, which is cool.